NHL USA Prospects Challenge on TSN.
Toronto Sports. This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
All right, here we go. OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app, your home smart speaker, up on TSN 4. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill. And we needed some optimism in the air. Jonas Siegel's in the house. Great to see you, Jonas, as always.
Do you think that was, so that's dire straits? Is that like a message? Is that?
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's time to put your money down, right? What is that? Money for nothing? Money for nothing. Nice. Time to get things done. Microwave ovens and the whole nine, Jonas. Right? That's the way you do it. You got to get something done tonight in Columbus. Have to get something done.
You talked about the record needed coming down the stretch. First of all, I gave you a hand signal that you didn't respond to. And
well, I mean, we need to address a couple things that we will get to. We'll save it for a little bit later in the hour, but there's some wild
so I'm
stuff.
Going back to my parts.
No. So, here's what happened for people that are wondering, because yesterday we were talking about possibly changing up the NFL picks because it's just so ugly. Al's brother and I are too good, right? We're just too good. Like the two of us, we see the board so clearly. These two guys, Owen Wilson, it's just, they're in shambles. Jonas, shambles, right? The Nashville Predators.
Like the Cleveland Browns of the.
Or Cleveland Browns.
Worse.
Probably, maybe worse. Maybe worse.
The Jets.
The New York football scene amalgamated. That's who they are. Oh. One's the Giants, one's the Jets, and they've connected, and it's just a disaster. So O has been angling to not just get out, but to just miraculously end up on our team without any penalties or anything. Like he's just now plus 13. Like he's just
Smart.
Come over.
Hey,
yeah, it's a brilliant move.
We'll get to that later. But
we'll get to it later. We'll get to it
Jonas, later. I had a question for you.
Go for it.
Hazy was talking about the record needed by the Maple Leafs down the stretch to get in because they've already put themselves in quite a bit of a hole.
Yes.
What do you think the likelihood of that happening is? An impressive record coming down the stretch, and they pull out of this.
Like a Jerry's?
Just a Jonas. We'll call it a Jonas.
Call it
Jonas
a Jonas.
percentages.
A Gonus.
Yeah.
What do you have?
So you're talking like the rest of the season or just like
the rest of the season they get out of this and they become the Maple Leafs of the past years and they're comfortably in and this was just a blip on the screen.
I'm going to go 40%. Is that higher or lower than?
I think that's a lot of optimism. I think they'd be happy with that.
I think it's probably too high based on the way that they've played. But their goaltending, I think, will be better. I think Anthony Stolarz has disappeared, so like that's
a really
relevant.
Weird, like poker room.
The
move.
weirdest situation.
Yeah.
Wall is back and playing well. I don't know, like how much he can play.
Well, that's the idea. It's like Wall comes back to have the tandem ready, and then all of a sudden the other guy just disappears.
Which is exactly, I think, what happened last year. Or no, actually, it started that way. Matthews is back. Nyes is back. That's good. I don't know what Matthews is going to look like. Like, is he just going to be what he was before the injury?
Well, what can you expect after 2 weeks?
That's probably what you expect, right? Like
what are you talking about? They're one of the best players in the world. After 2 weeks, he should be raring to go. Flying.
I know, but Jeff, like, I'm talking about like what he was before he got hurt in Boston. Was a good player. Wasn't like a superstar.
He was not the dominating force that we've been used to. No.
So if he's just that, what different? Like that makes a difference, obviously, like a big difference. But is that enough to like get them back into like contention for the division? I don't think so. I don't know. There's just a lot of question marks with this team. How much better defensively are they going to play?
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
I don't know that it's going to be better. Their defense, like Carlo, another guy who just kind of disappeared. Like suddenly he wasn't playing, and then he just isn't around anymore.
I guess he was on the ice in Columbus today.
So that's something.
You don't think they're going to pull an Edmonton Oilers and announce there's going to be a systems adjustment?
Actually, Berube mentioned a couple of days ago that they did change some little things, and like you can kind of see like it hasn't been as bad the last little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Like, they haven't been giving up the glaring chances off the rush.
Off the
anyway.
rush, especially, for sure.
Yes. Like, in their own zone, it can get a little bit funky, and it did against Montreal.
Yeah.
But, I think 40%, I think you'd take that right now.
Maybe
like
it
40%.
should be 30. Maybe it should be 30.
Yeah. And, listen, I think the word comfortable is one that I might take some issue with. I don't know if they can comfortably get back into a playoff spot where by the middle of March you feel like, okay, it's a formality. They're going to get home, and are they fighting for home ice advantage? I think that ship has probably sailed, and that's why you look at the amount of games left. They have 60 games left. I think I said they have to go 35, 20, and 5 or something like that to get in. I mean, that would give them 97 points. And that might be actually
That's a really good record.
that is and that's the thing. When you look at it this way,
Yeah.
you're like, man, they gotta win a lot of games. But that's what Edmonton has done the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Edmonton is hoping to do this year. We'll see. We'll get into that, considering what happened in Edmonton last night. But that is what happens when you dig yourself a hole. You have to be one of the 5 or 6 best teams in the league the rest of the way.
Yep.
That's ultimately what it comes down to. Like, can the Leafs do that? Can they be one of the 5, 6, 7 best teams in the league for 60 games?
They got to have that chunk where it's the Leafs in the past and all the playoff teams in the past. It was like a sprint from the start of the season, and they almost made the playoffs by Christmas time because they just put together a chunk that was so impressive where they gave themselves some wiggle room down the stretch to have a blip, to have a stretch where they weren't good, and there was some comfort there. But if you don't have that stretch early on, you're just fighting for your life every night.
Well, and there's just so many teams in their way. Like, so even if they win tonight, if Buffalo wins tonight, I believe they're still in last.
Yeah, they would be. Yeah.
Like, there's just like in all these 3-point games, like there's just so many teams in the way. I don't know.
You're asking a lot. You're asking a lot.
Well,
but
the schedule is going to be a lot harder.
very difficult. Maybe the hardest in the league, based on competition, based on who they still have to play, all the road games. They're 1-6 on the road so far. Listen, they've dug themselves as big of a hole as you can get. Mm-hmm. That's what they've done. But you look at the next 3 games: Columbus, Washington, Pittsburgh, all gettable. And now guys are starting to come back. Like, Matthews is back tonight. I'm very curious to see what he looks like. I think it's important that he plays. I don't expect that he's 100%. He's saying all the right things. Right at the skate today, he said, I feel great, feeling much better, put a bunch of skates together. But he's got to play. Like, you need him to play. I know you see it differently,
We
Jonas.
just don't agree.
Well, I just look at it like
How could Jonas possibly see it any different
Jonas
than what
thinks he's got to be at 100% before he returns. 110%.
No, if I'm them, I get it. Like, they've lost a bunch. He's their captain, et cetera, et cetera. But do you want him to come back too soon and get hurt again and miss a month?
Oh, my God. You sound like the too soon stuff is just like Hayes talks about it all the time. Well, if it's like you're not going to play Friday, you might as well play Monday. Well, if you're not going to play Monday, you might as well not wait until Wednesday. It's like you can too soon yourself to death. I don't know.
Right.
They play all the time. Like, they just have 4 days off. That never happens. And he's been skating. He's been playing. He's year 10 and the captain of a team
and
that
they
is
desperately
sinking.
need him.
If you're not going to play through something now, when are you ever
But what
gonna
if it's
do
the
it?
kind of injury, like, again, this is their fault for not disclosing it, but what if it's the kind of injury that can recur if you come back too soon? Like, what if it's you know what I mean?
Dude, every time you step on the ice, you can get injured. That's a risk you're taking as soon as you...
Come on. All right. I'll give you guys this. I'm not going to fight you on this.
No,
I'm not that passionate, but, like, I've watched him at practice the last few days. I watched him on the skates. He doesn't look like all the way like himself. Like, you watch him shoot the puck, there's just not the kind of torque like you used to see. So I don't know. You're right. Like, at a certain point, you have to come back. But if he comes back a week too soon and then gets hurt on Friday night and misses a month, like, you're screwed.
Well, then you could say to us, you guys are a pair of dummies.
I will. All right.
Well, listen, that could happen, or he could wait 2 weeks, come back, get hurt that first game, and miss a month, and you say,
Or
that's what happened last year.
At some
or
point,
he could wait 2 weeks and then be out of them, literally almost mathematically eliminated.
Yeah, I think at some point, listen, again, there's a scenario here where you got to play. Like, I think they've given him ample time. It's been 2 weeks. He's in control of it. Like, we don't live in an era where the coach has no say over anything. Like, in terms of forcing someone to play.
Like, we don't know what the injury is. We don't know what the original time. We don't know anything.
Valid. But you got to trust that he's playing, then he believes he can play.
Fair.
I guess is what it comes down to. And if there was ever, again, if this same injury, same scenario happened to Nathan McKinnon, I'd say come back in a week, come back in 2 weeks. Like, you have
But
to
they
bring.
don't ever lose.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
If you never lose, you have the luxury of time. The fact of the matter is, with Matthews, with Nyes, like Nyes said today, he's been suffering from something since camp.
Yeah.
So 3 games, is that enough? Probably not. You know, he probably feels a lot better, but I have an appreciation for these guys saying, we got to play. Like, you got to play. Like, you got to have, and I'm sure there's a lot of frustration around that team. You got an old school coach there who's kind of fighting for his life here.
Yes.
And is thinking.
That's the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Like, with Jeff's question, can they go on one of those heaters playing the way that they play? I don't know. Because, like, there's not.
I mean, their style of play has not been conducive to any success this year.
And was, like, it took a lot of great goaltending last year to have the success that they did. And if their goaltending is just like, can they go 35 and whatever you said?
35, 20, and 5?
I don't know that you can.
I don't know. I don't know if there's another coach
Like, Wall
that
got
can do that.
peppered the other night.
Yeah,
when
he
you
did.
talk about the saves, and I think the same question is coming up in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Is it the opportunities that the goalie gets, or the ones that he lets in, or is it the way the defensemen are playing in front of the goaltender that there's just allowing so much? And you could probably connect that to the support from the forwards, because if the forwards aren't giving the defense support, the defense can't stand up, and then all of a sudden you're giving up a bunch of opportunities. So it's all connected to some degree. But from what you watched last night, it's like the Edmonton Oilers, it's like their defense core, the way they play back there in front of their goaltender is insanity. Complete and utter insanity.
Yeah.
And it puts their goaltender in a position where I don't know if they can wheel that Skinner out there anymore. I really don't. Like, he's been tortured.
Well, that's
Tortured,
the thing. It's
man.
a two-way street. Like, I'm sure Stuart Skinner's looking at everyone else saying, "What do you want me to do?" Like, there have been times where he has been terrible. There's no disputing it.
That's
We
right.
talked
But last
about it
night,
last
Hayes, it was like guy left out wide open in front of the net, not covered goal. Jamie Benn, not covered goal. It's like, you know, the guy walks right down on a breakaway bastion.
Yeah.
Although there's
It was a great shot. It was a great shot, but
he should have never had that shot. If any defenseman, just a little coachable moment right now, if you know player personnel, a 2-on-1, like, there's no way in hell you should give a guy that's been scratched 4 games in a row that amount of time. They gave him, they were scared to death like it was Mario. It was Bastion. But that's just.
Well, I don't know what Kulak was doing there. It was like he was trying to kill time to get a change or something. It was the weird. He was like holding the line.
Look at this. That's Bastion, and it was like he got Mario treatment. You go and give him the Raymond Bourque special and jump at him, and don't give him any time. He'll probably fumble the puck. Hasn't played in 4 games. I was thinking that watching that. They said on the broadcast, Bastion scratched 4 games in a row. I'm like, then he just walked down Main Street on a breakaway. I'm like, you got to understand player personnel. That guy hasn't played in 4 games, and he got the Mario treatment. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that was a scenario where it was, it's kind of a mercy pull. There are a couple ones you'd like to see him get. The Bastion one, it's 2-0 there. You're like, man, we need a stop. He went down a little bit early, but it was a great shot, and he's coming in. He's on top of the crease when he shoots that. So I don't know if you can put Skinner. It's kind of like a coach, like a mercy fire of a coach. Where you're like, I just don't know if I can keep the coach going out there. I don't know if you can keep putting the goalie out there. But they're lifeless in Edmonton. And the crowd was lifeless. It was pretty wild. Like, they were really, really quiet.
Well, dude, what were they supposed to be fired up about? And it's crazy how quick it flipped. They had that big win in Florida. I think it was 6-3. And they're like, all right, # now we go. And then they flew back to Edmonton, and they got
dummied.
pumped.
And they were all bad last night. Like, that's as invisible as you're going to ever see McDavid and Draisaitl play.
Well, Dallas is missing a bunch of guys.
Yeah,
too.
Harley
Yes,
and
they are.
Rantanen weren't
Rantanen
playing
and
last night.
Shane wasn't playing.
Yeah. Like McDavid had nothing last night.
They didn't have any time in the
Nothing.
offensive zone. Like, the first period was just, they had one shot for however long.
It's ugly. And again, they can look back in the last 2 years and say, this is how we started. Like, they can do that, and they did get out of it.
But it's not. You're not owed getting out of it. I don't think there's a coach change coming this year. I know there's not a coach change coming this year. You're not owed like getting out of that every year because you have McDavid and Draisaitl. Those guys can't keep dragging that team out of a ditch year after year after year. It's not owed to you. So if they think it's just automatically going to happen, they might like. I've said it about a bunch of teams, and I feel like I'm getting sick and tired of listening to myself be negative. But the Rangers came into Toronto like 2 or 3 weeks ago. They can't score a goal. And I said the statement about the Rangers, maybe you just have to look at the team and say this year, maybe they're not that good. And that's just maybe it's just one of those things. Some of these teams, maybe this year they're not that good, and you got to try to fix it either later in the year or in the summertime, because there's a bunch of teams that thought they were going to be good that aren't that good, and the Leafs and the Oilers are in that mix with the Rangers. It's like you tried to put something together and it ain't working, and you're not that good. So how the hell are you going to dig out of it?
Yeah.
On ice play is one thing, but all of them aren't going to dig out of it on the ice.
Well, and some of them just, really struggling. Like you look at Edmonton, Matthias Ekholm is a shell of his former self right now. Like he's really, really struggling. He was swimming last night. Darnell Nurse swimming last night.
That Ekholm was the guy that always held the fort down and covered up most of the stuff.
A lot of miles.
But that guy's no kid anymore, yeah.
A lot of miles, a lot of big injury last year, a lot of hockey. You know, it catches up to you. And that's Wallman's hurt again. He's been hurt a lot this year. He didn't play last night. Like Bouchard is what he is. Bouchard's going to do what he always does. You kind of can predict what that game's going to look like. And then if you're goaltending subpar, I think what you're seeing, again, from afar is like McDavid and Draisaitl are kind of putting up their hands saying, well, you just said, we can't drag them out all the time. You know, Hyman's back, but he's trying to find his way. Nugent-Hopkins has been out. And it's a team, it's a front office that's made some mistakes. That Trent Frederick deal is absurd. Absolutely absurd. That he got an 8-year deal. He's got 2 points in 25 games. Like, it's just, that's where you put your resources. And you had to keep guys, and you kept going back to the well. Again, you look at Toronto and Edmonton, and a lot of similarities there. Like, it worked really well, and they just said, all right, let's keep that. You know, like the Leafs did it. The two moves that they made outside of Marner for Waugh, which was really forced upon them, and Vegas had them by the screws, so it was like, what do you think you can get? Yeah. All right, we'll take Nick Waugh. I think that's a good play. Waugh's a good player. He rejoins the lineup tonight. It sounds like Michelli and Joshua are going to be healthy scratches tonight. Those are the only 2 moves Trey Living made. Yeah. That's the only thing he did.
Well, and both those
bring
teams
those 2 guys in.
Kind of wanted to give those guys
And both
away.
those teams have been awful.
Yeah.
Like Utah and Vancouver were terrible last year, and they're like, please just take these guys for picks. And there wasn't really any movement in the offseason. So I
know the ones that they might have wanted, like Mason Marchment got basically dumped.
Yes.
For like a second-round
Seattle,
pick. Yeah. But the Leafs don't have a second-round. Like, they didn't have a pick.
Right. There just wasn't a lot of movement. Like, a lot of guys just returned to their teams, and there weren't a lot of trades. And, obviously Tree Living was trying to dig around and do something, and he took a gamble on these 2 guys. Doesn't mean it's their time in Toronto is officially over. But if you're game 23 and it's desperate and you're both healthy scratches, which is what we believe happens tonight, that is also a sign. That's a message from the coach to the GM. Like, hey, thanks for helping, but I'll take it from here because I'm dying here and I got to get guys going. And I kind of appreciate that. Desperate time call for desperate measures. Like,
that's when you know it's at a point, Brian, where he's like, I'm not doing these guys any more favors and getting the courtesy dress in the lineup.
Yeah.
Which should send a message to other guys in the lineup saying, I'm not pissing around anymore. I don't care what your status is, unless you're a Nyes or a Tavares or a Nylander or Matthews. Everyone else should be scared to death about coming out of the lineup because I started with those 2, and it's going to start hitting home for the other guys.
Do you think he'll actually do that, though? Because we've never seen him do that.
Like, you're talking, like, Max Domi's
the one. Like, that's
Domi's the guy. He's had a terrible start to the year.
He's been worse than both those guys.
He's been arguably their most detrimental player on the ice.
Yes, and continues to play.
Yes. So, not only continues to play, plays center where he's dying.
Yes.
Yeah, he's probably going to move tonight.
Yes.
But
whoever the personnel is, that should be the message. I'm starting with those 2 guys, and for anyone else that I've given the benefit of the doubt, it starts now because I'm tired of doing favors. We can't wait around for anybody to play well. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But he had no choice with those other 2 guys. Complete and, fair. Like, I'm just trying to be fair. I don't want to be negative, but watching them play, they are not contributing. 0, doing nothing, not doing it. They had to come out.
I talked to both of them actually yesterday. Joshua seemed more distraught about like where he was at. Like, you could kind of tell. Like, when you can talk to a player, and you can tell like, oh man, he's like fighting it. Like, he felt that way. Michelli felt more, I don't know. Like, I think it's gone better for Michelli. He's not a Berube player. Like, that's pretty clear. And you wonder, like, dating back to the summer, like why they thought he would work under Berube. I guess
everybody's got a different style of play. Not everybody goes out there and hammers guys through the boards and fights. Whatever you do, whatever skill set you do, and it's what makes teams good, is you have a bunch of different, unique players. And Michelli could have been one of them. But the thing is, it's just like this show. All three of us offer different perspectives. But if you're garbage and you don't know how to do the show stinks, right?
I guess my point...
Everybody on the ice has got to bring their own thing, and he wasn't bringing it at all. It could have been very effective. Was given a hell of an opportunity on the top six with both Tavares and Austin Matthews. Didn't play. Couldn't contribute. Non-factor.
Yeah.
Those are all fair points. I guess the only thing I would say is, stylistically, the type of player that he is, it's going to be hard for him to win over someone like Craig Berube. He's not big. He's not really fast. He's not super hard on pucks.
Well,
he turns pucks over
those are decisions. Those are decisions he makes. I said the same thing about Max. Listen,
okay.
I said the same thing about Max Domi. If your skill game's not flying, you can offer and completely alter your game to say, I got to do something effective here. I might find myself in big trouble. You've seen guys in the league who are top point producers that still have it in their mind that they're doing that, but they're not. Statistically, they're not. And they have this ego where it's like, I'm a skill guy. You got to bring something else to the table. Finish your checks, be hard on pucks, get them in, get them out, blah, blah, blah. And if you don't change and do those things that can make you somewhat effective, you become useless, completely useless.
Well, and that's what is concerning about the disposition that you're explaining.
Yeah,
because if his approach is, hey, I'm Michelli, man. That's, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to Michelli this thing, and it's not I'm not changing.
If he Michelli's this thing, he'll be out of the game.
I'm Michelli. If he's Michelliing it, then
the tough thing for him is he has to take risks to make plays, and risks turn into odd man rushes, which turn into goals, which piss the hell out of the coach.
Yes,
which gets you scratched. But if you look statistically, there's more of a case for him than it's looked. Like, he's produced okay in his minutes. I don't think he's not a top six forward on a good team. Clearly,
that's the problem.
And that's the problem.
He's just in this middle area.
I'll explain to you strategically why that's happened to him and a bunch of other ones. They haven't generated enough zone time to have confidence with the puck and make those plays. So they're just having limited offensive zone time, or they might just cross the blue line and he thinks, oh, now's my time to make one of my Michelli plays, and he coughs it up, and now's my time to show that I'm a skill guy, and he coughs it up, and then the coach goes nuts and pulls his hair out and says, I can't stand that guy. So as an offense, together, they just haven't had the puck enough to have confidence and make those plays. Because if you're cycling and dominating and being active with defensemen pinching, and you always have the puck, you could get away with the odd giveaway, and the coach will be like, "Oh, that was a good try. You had him tired. That was a good try." But they never have that, and it's forcing guys to put themselves in position where they're forcing it themselves. It's like, I got to do something creative here, and it ain't the time. It ain't the time.
Well, and with Joshua, I wonder if he'd like a do-over with Jack Guy on Saturday night. Like, maybe literally that simple. I drop the gloves and fought him, and then it changes something. But he's a guy.
Win some respect from the coach.
At a minimum, it's like, I just didn't put up with something, and I showed I'm snapping.
Just
it's old school. But you know who would have done that 30 years ago? Is his coach.
Yeah.
His coach would have said, I'm not doing this. I'm going to snap and let people know I'm not happy. So we'll see. They'll get back in the lineup.
Jack Guy's a heavyweight, and sometimes you look at a guy and say,
I hear you.
That guy is out of my class, man.
Understandably.
Easy
for me to say, hey, go out and just fight a guy. I get it. But I'm just saying, he is a big boy that has fought throughout his career. He has not yet in Toronto. And if you're risking a scratch, there have been guys wired like that throughout their career that are like, I'm not going to accept that. So I'm curious what he does the next time he gets in. They'll put him back in. What this team needs to do, watching Dallas last night, even watching Edmonton when they had sparks of life, the defensive stuff is clearly important. They have to forecheck better.
Yeah,
they've got to forecheck as a team better. You've got to put pressure on teams.
Well, it's what Jeff talked about.
They never do it.
It's circular. If you're not forechecking, you're not spending zone.
And that's got to start tonight. But again, a lot of the big boys are back. Columbus, they're missing a couple of players. Werenski will play. Historically, the Leafs have not loved this building. It has not been a very fun building for them, but got to get one tonight. Basically a must-win. November 26th, must-win
What
territory.
if you don't get a win?
Then
I'll tell you flat out, I'm calling in sick tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'm not kidding.
All right, we got picks to make today. We got 2 games tomorrow right? We got teams all over the place. We need to address what's going on here. We have the GM of Team Canada coming on, also the GM of the St. Louis Blues, Doug Armstrong, this hour. We got Jerry's coming up in just over an hour. Leafs in action tonight, 2 football games tomorrow, a bunch of games in the NHL. Jonas is in here. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
NLL Face-Off Weekend on TSN and TSN Plus. NLL Face-Off Weekend on TSN and TSN Plus.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Started my day out with a nightmare at the gym. Someone approached me and said, "O-Dog, did you hear about Sarah Orlesky getting pinched?" And I was like, "What?" And they were like, yeah, Sarah Orlesky got banned for 2 years. And I'm like, Sarah Orlesky? What are you talking about? And then I figured out it was someone else. I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about.
No, I have absolutely know what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about Penny Oleksiak?
Penny Oleksiak. And they were like, they thought they came up with the name Sarah Orlesky. I'm like, I don't think Sarah Orlesky got pinched for anything out in Winnipeg, our home away from home. So that's how the conversation started. And I'm like, no, I think you're thinking of Penny Oleksiak. And they're like, yeah. So, they're like, sorry, I got the name wrong.
Wow.
But what a horrifying way to start a convo.
Yeah, that would have been disappointing if Sarah was like dodging drug testing out there in Winnipeg. I don't know why that would ever be a part of her daily routine.
I know. But it was just the way he phrased it. He was like, yeah, Orlesky, she got pinched out, done for 2 years. And I was like, what the hell would Sarah Orlesky, who's known around the world as the nicest person in the world, could have done out there?
I don't know. That would be actually a much more interesting story, I think.
Come on, dude. That would never.
I'm not saying that's my point, though. It would never happen, but you'd be like, what's Orlesky up to? Like, we just saw Sarah. What is she doing?
Yeah.
Is there like a secret life that she's leading that we're not aware of? Because that's when you get spicy stuff. That's the kind of stuff you're into, right? You're always reading about that stuff and watching that kind of stuff. And, yeah, it sucks for Penny, but it sounds like Penny's just kind of done with swimming. Like, that's my understanding. Like, she broke out in 2016, I think it was, in Brazil. That was 9 years ago.
Well, she could be ready by the next Olympics, but
yeah, exactly. But I don't know if this is as like nefarious as some people are making it out to be. Surprising, it's water cooler material. Quite frankly, I know like she's one of the great Canadian athletes of all time, but she's already cemented her legacy. It's all good with Penny. This is a positive Penny zone, Jonas, and I will not allow you to disparage the great name of Penny Oleksiak. All right, speaking of Canadian Olympians, I guess if you're the GM of the team, that would be included, right? Although I don't think they get a medal if you win.
They count as Olympians?
Did Pat Quinn get a medal in 2002? I don't think Pat Quinn did.
Coaches do.
I don't think coaches and GMs. We got to change that. Let's see if we can start that movement right now with our next guest. GM of the Blues, GM of Team Canada. Here's Doug Armstrong. Do you know where that stands, Doug? Can you get yourself a medal in February, or how does that work?
No, just the athletes get it, and I actually think that's the way it should be. They're doing all the work.
Army, wouldn't you like in your basement or something to have some medals hanging from somewhere? Like, come on.
Yeah, well, you know what? You get the rings. That's enough.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, we can get you a replica one, right? We'll find a way to make that work for you. But how are you balancing your time? I mean, it's a big commitment. You got your own, obviously, issues going in St. Louis. You guys have not got off to the start I'm sure you were hoping for, and yet you're getting real close to go time in terms of picking this Canadian team. How are you balancing both parties right now?
Yeah, obviously it's. I was hoping it wouldn't be as difficult as it is right now with my day job, but we're out. We have a group of 5 of us out watching lots of games, and quite honestly, when your team's up and running, there's not a lot you can do. You observe. I'm a big believer that you don't tell the players what you're going to do; they tell you what you should do, and so now we're reacting to our position in the league with the Blues, and as we're doing that, we're out scouting players for the Olympics, and that hand in hand scouting for the Blues at the same time.
Army, what exactly would you be looking for? In the second part of the question is it easy to just try to find something that's not there when you already know the players so well and you're going out to watch them?
Yeah, I think what we're trying to do is that an Olympic question or just
an Olympic question.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think what we tried to do is just go out and find and look at some of these younger players for the first month of the season. And then we had a meeting, and now we sort of honed our list down to a more workable number. And anyone not on the list had to find us, that next month. And now we're going to meet again in December. And we'll hope to come out of that one with probably 70 to 80% of the team in our mind picked, and then sit with the coaches and find out, okay, what areas do we need? We'll go over all the analytics of penalty kill, power play, face-offs, things that could help round out a team. And but right now we're trying to understand the resumes are deep and long. We don't have to look at some of those players, but some of these younger players that are coming into their own right now, we want to give them full opportunity if they have a good 3 months to get legitimate opportunities to make this team, and that's what we're doing now.
How does the scouting of the Blues factor in? Do you abstain from that? Do you contribute to it? How does that work if someone's got an opinion on Binnington, Thomas, Parayko? Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, well, what we've done in the past, and I was fortunate to work with Steve Yzerman in 10 and 14, is that if you're talking about a player on a certain team, you go last. You let the other guys describe what they see, how they see, and everyone's very respectful of what you look at. We're probably all a little harder on our own players than the other people are, but you have to understand that you're doing this for Team Canada, and that overrides your personal feelings for your players. And you have to be honest, because our goal is to go and put a team that we think can compete for a medal, the gold medal, obviously. And that's what we need to do. We have to be honest about our own players.
Doug, you mentioned some of the younger players. How much have Celebrini and Bedard in particular maybe changed the way you're thinking about including one or both, and maybe the conversation around some of the forwards you might bring?
Yeah, they've done a great job, and as I said, they found us. We didn't have to go out and look for them. Both, young players, both having their career years, both have taken their franchises from. They're both fighting for playoff spots now, probably a little bit further ahead than some people have thought, and they're the lead horses there, and they're certainly in this equation as we pull this together, and then. Again, it's taking it back to John Cooper and his staff on, okay, here are your power play people. Where do these guys fit in? Penalty kill, where do these guys fit in? How do they round out our roster? We watch who they play with their NHL teams, why they're having success with those teams. Do we have the complement players that can provide them with that? And also, can they provide the players that are there, complement what we have. So it's a jigsaw puzzle. I think there's going to be changes from the Four Nations, which is normal. When you look at the last, it's only been less than a year since the Four Nations, so we know a lot of those players well. But as we said, some of these younger players are coming on, and some of the players that were on that team aren't playing to the caliber they were when they got selected, and that's just the nature of the beast, and that's why we're out scouting.
Army, is one of the questions, or we talk about this every day, and one of the possibilities is a guy like Connor Bedard, can he go to this tournament and play a different role? Like, does that make sense of even having that conversation, or is it you want Connor Bedard doing Bedard things, not doing something different that he's asked, like becoming a checker?
Yeah, well, so you that's a very good question. You say, okay, if Connor Bedard does Connor Bedard things, is he better than X player that's doing that now? And everyone has to play a different role. Like we do want to have a highly skilled team, on all four lines and all the defensemen. But there has to be some people that can kill penalties. There has to be people that can play different roles. I think one of the things that I took away from the Four Nations that runs to our day job is if you win both ends, the front of the net and both ends, you're likely going to have success. And so we need people that can play inside the dots, that can play with strength and power in front of the nets, offensively and defensively. And that's where the goals are going to be scored. They don't come, they're flashy plays, but at the end of the day, when the game's on the line, you have to go inside. And we just want players that can complement that 200-foot game playing inside the dots also.
With Doug Armstrong, and, the young guys, they weren't really on the radar for the Four Nations because of their age. Bedard, Celebrini was a rookie last year, but there were veterans, that were well aware of, that had really good years last year that didn't make it. You look at Mark Scheifele, you look at Tom Wilson, who's been a unicorn in this league for 5 or 6 years, Nick Suzuki. What was the message to those guys who were veterans, play inside the dots, big boys, know how to win? They didn't make it at the Four Nations. Was there a message directed towards them in particular as to how you get onto the radar this time, because all three of those guys are having great seasons this year?
Yeah, they are. And we just looked at how they played after the Four Nations, how they played if they went to the end of the playoffs, how they played in the playoffs. If not, how they do at the World Championships. And then we got out and scouted them the first 2 months of the year, and we'll do one more month. And Yeah, it's great competition, and we had all those players were invited to our orientation camp. There was conversations on what we're looking to do, how we want to play, and they had to go out and do their job, and they're making it very difficult. Those players you talked about, with probably 4 or 5 more guys that went to the Worlds that have done or having good years, that provide some of that size and power that we're talking about, that are going to make those December meetings very interesting.
With Doug Armstrong, GM of Team Canada and the Blues, as for your day job, we just saw you guys roll through town a week ago, and again, you guys, you're 7-10-6. It hasn't been a great season. I know you've spoken about it. I know your head coach Jim Montgomery's spoken about it. We're 22 games in. Jonas, Noodles. We always talk about U.S. Thanksgiving. That's kind of a line where you can truly determine the team you have. Yet it's a league where just everything seems frozen all the time. There's not a lot that can happen in free agency throughout the summer. As a guy that has been active before, and maybe you want to be active now, do you feel like it's even possible with the parity in the league and the salary cap restraints that come with trying to make deals?
Yeah, I think what we're finding now is the salary cap doesn't play the issue it did in COVID. We saw the big increase this year. Obviously, the pending unrestricted free agents are taking the lion's share of that. But I think trades are going to be easier to make now than they have been in the past because of the increased cap, for sure, for the next few years, and hopefully for the league moving forward. And I think there's probably more buyers than sellers, just because of the parity in the league that we see right now. And as I said earlier, I'm a big believer that players tell you what you're supposed to do with your team. I've been on both sides of it. In Dallas, I think my 5 or 6 years there, we bought every year. We were averaging about 110 points a year, and we bought every year, and we only got past the first round once. But you try and respect and show the players that if they do their job up until a certain date, you'll provide them with some support. And then also, if you're a team that you had one expectation and it went a different way, that you respond to that, and you're willing to look at that future players or changing out things. And then there's going to be a group of teams that are in the playoffs. They're like somewhere between, say, 5th and 10th place, that are don't believe that they're a championship caliber team, and they'll likely just stay pat and maybe work around the edges. So I think everybody looks at it a little bit differently. I know that there's some managers love to get ahead of this as soon as they can, to give the players time to acclimate with their new group. It's going to be a little more difficult this year with the long break in February. But as I said, we have to listen to what our players are telling us. And right now we're 3 games under 500 and not playing strong hockey. And their job is, as the players, to Jim and myself and Alex Dean, is to, as we're exploring what we should do, go on a big heater there, and it changes our mindset.
So, Army, take us behind the scenes, as much as you can. What happens if a general manager in the league sends a note out to everyone else saying, we're open for business? Because that term has been tossed around a few times the last week or so. Like, what does that mean? If a GM floats that out there, does their phone just ring off the hook, and the seagulls are flying everywhere trying to pick away at everything? Or how does that go? What happens when that situation goes down?
I think everyone looks at things differently. Some, on how you get information out there. I'm not sure that what's reported is factual quite a bit of the time, quite honestly. I've heard things that we've been involved in, and I laugh. I haven't talked to that manager in 2 months. And so you're not really sure how some of this gets out there. But everybody, we know how teams are doing. You try and look, and like, I know when I look at a team, I try and, instead of just making a phone call to say, what are you looking for? I look at where we're at, what we're willing to do. Do we have the things that I think they might need? And then you start conversations like that. Everybody handles a little bit differently, but I try and do, the Blues try and do some of that homework first, but so they're not just like throwing darts.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing what happens here, not only with your own team throughout the league, but as we get closer to the Team Canada announcement. It's really exciting. It's going to be awesome to have the NHLers back at the Olympic Games, and It's rapidly approaching, so good luck with it. I'm sure we'll catch up, if not before, right after you make the team announcement. And thanks, as always, for doing this.
Guys, I always appreciate you having me on, and all the best.
You got it. Doug Armstrong, GM of Team Canada and the Blues.
God, I would love for airplane viewing, like a behind the scenes of the selection process for Team Canada, man.
That would be so good to have that as an all-access show. Like, so
Dude.
Do you guys remember they did that with Team USA way back?
Yeah, Burke was involved.
Yeah, and it got. Who did he say something about? He said
Dude,
something.
he had some spicy comments about somebody.
Yeah.
Was it Kessler? No,
I don't think it was Kessler, and I don't think it was Phil, because Phil was his guy at that point.
It was Bobby Ryan.
Bobby Ryan.
But I don't remember what he said.
It wasn't flattering.
No.
It was
he said
really
he
not
basically
flattering.
talked about work ethic or back checking or something.
Yeah.
You know what? To your point, everything was fine.
Yeah.
It was a
And guess
story.
what? That's what's being said.
Yes.
Like, these guys, it's got to be a little bit awkward. Like, yes, you're going to be respectful, but the Blues are a good example. Like, they're really struggling this year. Like, Bennington is really struggling. And there's a chance one of the other GMs in there are looking at him saying, man,
Bennington's dog bleep.
How can we play this guy?
Yeah.
Like, he's killing your team. How's he going to help our team? And I know what he's done, and I know his history and all that, but he's really, really struggling. That's why the connection to Edmonton is so fascinating, because he's a winner and he's new and it's a fresh look, and he may get to Edmonton and everything pops. And I think it's worth a shot if you're the Oilers, depending on the price. But his stats this year are almost as bad as you can get in the league.
How many do you think there will be any big surprises as far as not being on that team? Like, do you consider, even with injury, Mark Stone, if he doesn't make the team, that would be a surprise?
I don't think it would be a surprise. He's back tonight, but I think he's on the outside looking in right now.
Who would be a surprise for you? Like, if Mark Scheifele doesn't make it again, will you be surprised?
I'll tell you one thing, a surprise for me, and he hasn't produced, but I think he's really valuable and did a lot in Four Nations once he got in the lineup, is Sam Bennett.
Yeah.
Like, that's a guy where it's like there's a ton of experience there in high-pressure situations. Scored a massive goal in the final. Just a guy that, I don't know, can find a way to get it done when it comes down to crunch time, who does not have the stats to show for it right now.
Well, he's really struggled early in the year, but look at what Armstrong just said. The two nets, front of each net, that's where Bennett lives.
Yes.
That's where he lives. Yes. And that's why I think hearing him say that, I'm not convinced Bedard's going to make the team at all. I think Celebrini's different because he plays different. I think Celebrini's going to make the team. But then beyond that, I don't know. All bets are off.
Who do you think will be their hardest call? Is it Bedard? Like, Bedard maybe isn't.
I don't think Bedard's as hard because his youth and,
Is it like one of the like, is it Cirelli? Because, like, who gets the final say? Is it the coach or is it them?
Technically, it's supposed to be the GM, but I'm sure the coach is heavily involved. I don't know. I think the Tampa guys, though, are fringe
Hagel's
guys.
There's I don't think there's any question.
Likely, yeah.
And Point's already on the team.
Point's already there. So Cirelli, you're talking 12, 13 forward. Like, I don't think that's...
What is it? Yeah.
Right.
Marner's a lock?
Marner's a lock. Yeah, Marner's on it.
I think Bennett's probably a lock, too.
I don't know. Like Brad Marchand. I think Marchand's a lock.
There's another guy, Brad Marchand. Damn, he's playing good. Damn,
really
he's good
well.
under the gun.
Yeah.
But in all the mock teams that Johnny comes up with, and Craig J. Button,
Hey, disparage the name. Disparage the name.
None of those guys were on the squad.
No. All right, Panger coming up. Jerry's coming up. Best bets as well. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on the TSN app.
NLL Face-Off Weekend on TSN and TSN Plus.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Darren Pang, Jerry's coming up. Some big news in the NFL. Frank Ragnow is coming out of retirement and rejoining the Detroit Lions. It's an all-pro center. I think he's played his cards perfectly. He had to announce, like, if he was going to return it, today's the deadline. After, I think, Week 13, which starts tomorrow, you can't do it. Just played his cards perfectly. Summer off, most of, September, October, November off. Come back for a stretch run.
Solani special.
Exactly. Just, I need some more time off. They'll pay him a lot. It'll be prorated. I can't imagine he's playing tomorrow. I haven't seen that yet. Maybe he is stepping right in, but that's a big get, man. That guy's a big piece of that offensive line. And great games tomorrow. The first two in particular, Packers-Lions, is just a great, great game. And even Chiefs-Cowboys, I don't think the Cowboys are legitimately in a playoff race. I know they're trying to convince themselves they are. But
it's
the
just
Chiefs
the Cowboys, man.
I know.
It's entertaining.
That's where it goes.
It would be so entertaining if they take down the Chiefs, and then all of a sudden you've got people singing the Cowboy, like Pierre LeBron. Cowboys are for real.
Yep. No, exactly. Hey, listen, you got Mahomes on Thanksgiving. Like, that's big. Playing at Dallas. They're saying it's going to be the most highly rated game in history.
What?
That is
Don't
what
doubt it, man.
the projections are. Like, but most regular season game, I should say that. Because it's 4:20. Everyone's at home in the States.
I don't
Cowboys
understand
game
that.
always does big, and now you got Mahomes playing.
Wouldn't everybody who's watching be watching do you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't all football fans be watching all these games anyway?
You would think so.
Like, who's being like, you know what, Mahomes and
I guess there's
Dallas?
just an extra 5-6 million
it's
people
that
out
extra
there.
juice, man.
Yeah, a little bit more juice. That 4 p.m. window with Mahomes playing in it. I guess that's what they're predicting. I don't know if it's going to be the case.
Hayes just added 1 million viewers himself by talking about it.
There you go. You can find that on TSN. Huge ratings tomorrow on TSN. Massive. All right. Hour 2 coming up. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
NLL Face-Off Weekend on TSN and TSN Plus.
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Hour 2 OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. Brian Hayes, Doug, Jeff O'Neill, Jonas Siegel in here. It's a sign of the times and really how quickly time can fly by that Austin Matthews is playing tonight, which is great, back in the lineup. And Luca Pinelli is making his NHL debut this evening for the Blue Jackets.
Remember him from the juniors in Ottawa.
Yeah, and he was he's a Stony Creek guy.
Oh, don't tell me. I know where this is going.
He said his idol is Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we're at. That there are players coming into the league, and they're like, man, I grew up loving Austin Matthews, and he's my favorite Leaf ever. And
like they were 8 years old, and he was ripping home 50.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's like 10 years just goes by like that.
I know, man.
It's crazy.
It seems like yesterday we were sitting in Buffalo talking to him at the draft.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember the draft lottery. We're all in different spots, and they won it, and you knew they were going to take Matthews. And now, 10 years later, there are kids from the greater Toronto area saying, man, I can't believe I'm going to be on the ice with my idol, Austin Matthews, tonight, which is it's crazy, but it's a reality. And it's great to see Matthews back. They need him, man. They need him. Like, you know, you can't put enough, I don't want to say pressure, but you can't put enough emphasis on how significant his return could be and ultimately has to be.
Yeah, and
he's got to be great.
He has got a lot of things in his back pocket, whether it be the Rocket Richard, the Hart Trophy, but he can really make a statement and do something special if he comes out and, given his kind of personality and the way he looks at things, I mean, I hope it's in there. I'm not really expecting it, though. But he can say, we're making the playoffs, and I don't expect like some kind of OV speech when he won the Stanley Cup and he said, you know, we were not going to be bleeped this year. But he could put the team on his back and say, we're making the playoffs this year and go on a heater. And Jonas mentioned it. Do you expect that from watching him play in the first part of the season? I don't know. But it would be pretty awesome on his part and kind of make fans re-fall in love with the guy. And he could do something special because he's desperately needed, and the team desperately needs it, man.
Yeah, they need him. They got a 5-game road trip here. It ends with Carolina and Florida, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I'm going there.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, it's a tough trip. But this is the one you got to go 3-2 here.
At least
3-2. 4-1 allows people to really come alive. If you miraculously go 5-0 and Matthews is back and looking great, everything will be different here in 10 days. Like, it will flip on a dime if they win 5 in a row. And I'm not anticipating that. I wouldn't put money on it. I'd be curious how FanDuel would handicap that.
Dude, they got to worry about tonight. They get dummied in Columbus, man. I'm worried about tonight.
No, I hear you. I understand that. I'm not putting the cart before the horse and suggesting you go into Carolina and you got to find a win. You got to beat Columbus tonight. This has got to be the one. Like, Columbus is missing a couple players. Who is it? Olivier's out and Marchenko's out, I think.
But they always play the Leafs.
I know. The Leafs. I think this is the worst building they could be playing in tonight.
With
I can't agree.
The Cannonball?
More.
Yes, the Cannon. They suck in Columbus. They always do. But it might actually be, and I'm trying to.
You're manifesting?
I'm trying to manifest something positive for the Leafs. They need it. Their fans need it. Their fans deserve it. This actually could be the perfect spot. Go into the darkest alley you can find, which is Columbus. Get your guys back. Joseph Wall, back in net. Go out there, have a performance, and win tonight. Just win. You don't even have to win in a great fashion. You don't have to look amazing. You got to start picking up points. You got to get some mojo going because they have no mojo. And that's the thing that's tangible. Like, I guess it's intangible, but you can see that with certain teams in the league that just have no mojo. Like, they just got no life.
Yeah, like Edmonton.
Like Oilers
Edmonton's
last night.
Yeah,
Zero
nothing.
mojo.
No mojo, no belief, done.
Like Austin Powers and
more or less. They lost their mojo. You got to go find it. He did.
He found it.
And maybe the Leafs can start finding it tonight. All right, Leafs are in Columbus. Bunch of games in the NHL. No games in the NHL tomorrow. And then a bunch on Friday. I think that's the right play. Tomorrow's the NFL. Like, don't even mess with the NFL in the States. From 12:30 until midnight, there's NFL games on. No one's paying attention to anything other than that. But tonight's a big game in the NHL and a big night in the NHL. And to chat about it, we're joined by our good friend from the NHL on TNT. Here's Darren Pang joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. Hey, Panger, how you doing?
Well, this is for O-Dog. This for Mojo. We need Mojo. See, if you need Mojo, you hit these mirror irons. That's how you get Mojo, my friend. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I mean, buddy?
Okay.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
I see you got those G4 box behind you there, O-Dog. I saw that. That's why I thought I was inspired to have my clubs there for you. I got to pick you guys up a little bit. I got to give you a little
around
life.
Here.
Yeah,
Darren, around here we play real golf clubs called TaylorMade.
I know you do. That's all Canadian. That's like a Sherwood PMP in Canada, buddy. I know that very well.
Yeah,
very well.
Those at gas stations, man. You can. You love it. Gotta love it, Panger. A lot of
Well, how are you
positivity
going to
up
get
here.
Mojo back, you guys?
That's the question.
How are you guys going to, everybody in Columbus, you're right about the cannon. They're going to be, everybody's back home. It's going to be a real raucous crowd because you've got, American Thanksgiving is a huge holiday. Families get together. Everybody's coming in all this week. Kids are out of school. And there's going to be some life in that building. So you're right. You don't want to be hearing, if you're a Maple Leaf fan, you don't want to be hearing that cannon go off too many times. And also, I'm looking at the standings at the bottom of the East, and I got to be honest with you. Sometimes when you're fixated on, your own team or your own games coming up, I've got a TNT game on Friday, and it's the Rangers in Boston. So been watching that a little, those two teams the last couple of days. And then I was scrolling down, to see the standings. And then I was scrolling down and down, and I was like, oh, wow. They're in the bottom. That is, and not only in the bottom, but against Columbus, Columbus goes 27 points and Toronto stays at 21. Hypothetically, this is a huge game. I mean, it just is. I know the team above them is Buffalo. You don't want to get too separated with the teams you're going to be chasing for a playoff spot, and that would be the stunning humility of our game. That is an unrelentless game. That's unforgiving. Our game is. And somehow you got to find a way to grab a hold of what you're losing onto faster than the team that's ahead of you, and that's easier said than done. But anyway, that's gonna be a heck of a game, and I'm looking forward to it.
Darren, what are people around the rink saying? You talk to a lot of different NHL people on a daily basis regarding the Leafs. Is it like, oh, maybe just an off year, or maybe they should blow it up? What kind of different things have you heard about what the Leafs are up to?
Well, I think, O-Dog, that when you watch the team, they're, with the injuries to Austin and when you look at the top 6 or top 9, O-Dog, it's not a big burly team that, if you want to play the game down low, that Chief loves to play, and they did, sometimes I see glimpses of the team and I go, whoa. That's a good hockey team where they're wearing down the opposition. They're keeping it down low, and they're making that little goal line to the slot play that not very many teams can do. And it takes a certain amount of discipline to not cheat and, to not send a hopeful, wishful play in the slot when you got no chance of making that play. And then it goes the other way. That's what drives Chief nuts as a head coach. So to have that discipline to play that way for an entire 60 minutes is hard. I watched the St. Louis Blues do it, and it's hard work. It's hard hockey. So what do they say about the team? Well, some nights they say that that's a real good, heavy team to play against, and some nights they say, oof, they go away rather meekly into the night. And I think that's not the good thing to hear if you want to, if you're talking about your team. So, I watch them, and I just think they're in a bit of a pattern right now of who are they and what are they, and are they really good enough to be putting that much pressure on them right now? Because some nights I look at the lineup and I'm like, it's not a playoff team. And then some nights when you see Austin back and you see Nye back, well, then that balances things out. And when you see Nylander going and you see Tavares going, well, that's 5. That's good hockey players. But then you need the other group to be able to raise the level of play too when they're not on the ice. So I guess my question would be, how deep are they? I think that's a legitimate question, and I think we've seen that with some of the injuries that have happened. How many guys can step up and not play a bottom 6 role, but how many guys you have in your system that can come up and play a top 9 role, and not too many teams do, and it's around our league. It's not like everybody's full of depth of high-end players. Maybe they've got good draft picks, maybe they got good prospects, but they're not ready yet. They're not in the NHL yet. And if you haven't drafted well and you haven't seen that pipeline and that cupboard full, oh boy, it can be kind of depressing, looking and saying, well, who's going to replace this? Who's going to be able to come up and do it? I've seen Easton Cowan a couple of times. I've seen him play, and he's a young player that sometimes can make a play in small areas when the pressure's on, and sometimes you go, ooh, he needs a little bit more time. So maybe not quite, maybe not the player that he's going to be in maybe 2 or 3 years. And maybe there are no players that can step up and do that in Toronto, and not just Toronto, you guys. It's all over the league. We're a little thin, I think, right now in terms of depth and skill.
Well, that's it. Exactly. A lot of teams. There's going to be more teams added into the future, and then
that's a good idea.
Yeah, you get to 34, 36 teams and a bunch of injuries. Then who are you filling those?
No, you're talking about the
with?
American Hockey League when you add 2 more teams. Seriously, there'll be 3 or 4 good players on every team, and the product will be crap. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just ridiculous to add 2 more teams.
Yeah, it's happening, though. It feels like it's inevitable. It's going to take place. And I agree with you. And there's injuries everywhere, and it's a condensed schedule. And with the Olympics back and the World Cup every 2 years and more games being added, I think injuries and load management.
Now you're bringing me down, you guys.
I know.
Now I'm getting
it's just,
kind of bummed
it's a reality.
Out.
It's a reality.
I came on this show to get a pick-me-up,
Okay, let's do that. Let's talk about the Edmonton Oilers. Let's talk about Edmonton. We'll really get you fired up, Panger. Because, man, they got pumped again last night by Dallas, and Skinner got like a mercy pull. The Oilers were asleep. They were lifeless. They had nothing. I don't think it was Skinner's fault, but he gave up 4 goals on like 8 shots. He got pulled. So I'm curious, what your read on the Oilers are. Like, is it just another cup hangover, even though they don't have the cup ring? Is it that they don't trust Skinner? And if that's the case, how do you eradicate that? Like, if you're running the Oilers, what would you do right now?
Well, I think when I watch them play, I'm going to add this because, and I'm sure it's been added before, but I think they miss Paul Coffey behind the bench. I mean, there's been certain coaches that have come and gone, like, I was just in Tampa Bay, and Coop lost Jeff Blashill. He was an integral part of their coaching staff. You don't just replace those guys in a moment's notice. But what I did see with Koff was when hit the fan with that, he had a calmness about him. He had a way of telling the boys, get away from the iPad. Let's talk hockey. Let's watch hockey. Let's make a good first pass, and let's make a play. And right now they don't look like a group. And I'm not saying that Stewie's not doing a good job. He's a good coach back there. But I think as a group, there's just no trust. It just seems like the goalie doesn't trust the D don't trust the forwards don't trust the goalie. And when that happens, we've all played a game. It just doesn't work. I mean, the goalie's not going to be able to stand on his head and spit out wooden knuckles. He's not that kind of wooden nickels. He's not that kind of goalie. He's not Grant Fuhr in that net. He's a guy that has to trust what's in front of him, and he has to play the angles, trust the back door is covered, trust that if he makes a save that someone's going to tie up a stick in the rebound. He doesn't sprinkle in these superlative saves, that the top end goalies can sprinkle in, and those are the facts. So if he's not going to be able to turn around the momentum or the loss of momentum in a hockey game with some save that's just unbelievable, then they've got to do something different in front of him. And so that's what I see with the Edmonton Oilers. I see a team right now that, even though they're only 2 points out of a wild card spot, and they're not playing very good hockey. They're playing awful hockey. I mean, can you imagine after that game last night, look at each other in the mirror? And we've been in those rooms, you guys, where there's no yelling at somebody else. It's just yourself. You look at yourself in the mirror and you say, what are we doing? And how can we get out of this? And what are we going to do to get out of this? And that's what they're going to need. They're going to need that inner gumption to get out of it, because right now they're not a very good hockey team.
Darren, you mentioned goaltending. I have a 2-part goaltending question. I don't like 2-part questions, but I feel like these are together. The average save percentage in the NHL right now is .897. I wonder why you think that is. That's the lowest it's been in like 20 years. Part 2 is, what does Team Canada do about their goaltending with Jordan Binnington?
Part 1 and the save percentage is, I think it's a culmination of October, November hockey. I don't think teams defend very hard right now. I never thought I thought October in the middle of November is kind of, it's always been kind of pond hockey. Everybody's looking for the glorious 2-on-1 heel to toe saucer play, one timers, dot to dot. So I don't think the defending part of the game is very good. And I do believe early in the season that a lot of penalties get called that maybe aren't the type of penalties as we go along in the season get called. So you got a lot of power plays. You got a lot of danglers out there. You got a top end guys that are, that are hunting candy. And so for me, that's number one. Number two is how good is the depth of the goaltending? If we're not going to play your top guys 70 games a year, can your second guy get you 24 to 28 points? It's kind of what you need to have. Your second guy has to get you 14 wins or somewhere around there. So I haven't seen that. I've seen a bit of a drop off in the backup goaltender too as well. So I'm going to take those two things and throw them out there. Binnington, I like this question because I do like to answer it because, again, I go back to St. Louis right now, and they're not playing very good defending hockey. And when Jordan Binnington is in a position where the team isn't playing well, and I've seen this movie before, he tries to do a lot. He tries to tie the game up 1-1. He tries to make a backhand pass that's over some people. He tries. He cares. He's got a lot of passion for the game and for winning. But when they're not defending well in front of him, he, very similar to what's happened in Edmonton, he doesn't trust anybody around. So now he's going to leave his short side post to take the backdoor play when really he shouldn't be doing that at all. He should be focused on the puck. What I'm saying is, should Binnington be Canada's goalie? Yes, he should be. The reason is Team Canada defends. Team Canada will say, you stop the puck, we'll take care of everything else. I mean, unless Carey Price is rehabbing right now in a faraway land that I don't know about, and he's making a comeback, it's where we're at. And I think that Binnington, in a pressure cooker situation in Boston, showed what he was all about. He's just done that before. So he has that layer of confidence and swagger about him that I think resonates with his teammates. And he's just one of those guys I don't think they're going to worry too much about his save percentage, about where he's at, because he's on a team right now mired in defending issues. And so he's just a part of that equation. I don't see anybody that's taking it over for him right now. I mean, I saw that Wedgwood, I mentioned this on TNT last week. They asked me about a goalie. I said, Scott Wedgwood. You want a guy that's the hottest goalie that's from Canada? It's Scott Wedgwood is the hottest goalie from Canada. And I would, he's got to be somewhere on that list. And I know that, that's where it's at. He's having a heck of a season on a very, very good team. So he could jump into an excellent Canadian team and feel that trust and feel the same kind of confidence that he has right now. Who else got added to the testing? A few other guys, right? Matthew Schaefer gets added. Yeah,
Schaefer's on there. So, man, he looks good. His GM was saying today he's changed the whole thing, the whole perception of the Islanders.
Because he's got spirit. Changed. He comes to the rink every day. Remember when we were young, you guys? We came to the rink every day. We didn't know any better. We're just full of life.
Ready to play.
All those older players that were on our team, they were. They're maybe at the end of their career. Maybe they were, afraid of getting traded or sent down, and they had all the pressure on them. And the young guys come in, they're like, hey, everything okay, boys? And he's got it. He's got swagger. I just love watching him play.
He's a game changer too, Panger. Like he
he's a game changer.
Offensively, defensively. He seems like he wants all the minutes in the world, and you just see everybody. Everyone's got a spark now. And they're a good team again all of a sudden. It's like, what the hell happened to the Islanders? That's how you know you got a special player and you drafted the right guy.
Look at Bo Horvath. Look at Bo right now.
Yeah, he's alive.
I mean, Bo is having a heck of a season right now. And, I think they're all feeding off this young kid. And it's just great. And their head coach is showing some passion behind the bench. I love it when Patrick Waugh shows something. Remember that hit that happened just recently? It was the Rantanen hit. Whether anybody likes the hit or doesn't like the hit or thinks that he might have been pushed a little bit, lost his balance, whatever. When your coach has that kind of fire, you can't do it all the time. But when you do, I think the players are feeding off that emotion and energy that I don't think Patrick has had the last couple of years.
Panger, do you think Colorado might pull off one of the big sweeps in the league with Cup contender, Norris, Hart Trophy, Rocket Richard? It kind of looks that way where they might just have a clean sweep this year.
Yeah. That's a 6-point Scotch game. They get 6 for 12, and if you press them for 24, they got the whole umbrella. Oh, dog. And you know what I mean? That's a sweeper, buddy. That is a sweeper. I mean, so yes, I I think so. I think I mean, I saw them the other night. They were here in Chicago. They'd won in Nashville. They didn't play very well. Mackenzie Blackwood stood on his head, made 35 saves, shutout, 3-0. They come to Chicago back to back. They didn't play very well, but they managed their game well enough, and they got some great goaltending also from Scott Wedgwood. They didn't get much from, in fact, line for line. Jeff Blashill put Connor Bedard's line head to head with McKinnon's line, and he put Dickinson's line. He went up against the Brock Nelson line. I tell you what, Connor Bedard's line outchanced them. But what McKinnon didn't do was chase the game. That's the maturity in this game right now. He didn't chase it and cheat it because it wasn't going well. He managed his shifts. He didn't lose them, and he didn't really win them, but he didn't lose them entirely. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think there's a maturity in their game right now where they don't even like the way they played the last little bit, but they've still come up with wins for one reason or another.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sign, man. They've lost one game. Like, what? It's U.S. Thanksgiving. They've lost one time. I think
they'll make the playoffs.
A remarkable run. I feel pretty good about that. I think home ice almost feels like a lock at this point. We'll see. There's a lot of season left. Positivity. There we go. We ended with some positivity, Panger. That's what we were looking for. And as always, we appreciate you doing this. Thank you.
It's always my pleasure. Take care of you.
There he is.
Be good there.
You too. A little shot at you on the way out. Darren Pang joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. Get in and go where adventures take you in a new 2025 Tacoma from Maple Toyota near Canada's Wonderland in the Maple Auto Mall. Visit mapletoyota.com. I saw, Panger was talking about pulling, getting his iron out, working on his game. Tom Brady was just posted something about like a range session, which just looked and felt so unnatural because I think he has a drone with him taking pictures while he's on the range.
I don't know, but I want to take one of those new tailor-made drivers to a range. I think Rory played with it in Dubai and was hitting absolute
mashing
bombs.
The ball. He was driving greens, like 395-yard par fours. This guy was like rolling balls onto the green.
I know. And there's a new center-shafted Spider, all blacked out.
I've seen it. I've heard of it. I'm familiar with it. That's the zero torque too, right?
Yeah, we need to go up to Vaughan one day and look at some stuff because that new Taylor. I want to look at the driver because Rory and Fleetwood and all those guys were smashing it in Dubai.
Yeah, it looks amazing. The new TaylorMade driver, which I'm sure will be out into the new year. But yeah, we got to get up there, man, because like the golf season, even on tour, it's done. It's been done up here for about a month.
There's some crazy-ass talk about what the schedule might look like moving forward.
I know.
There's talk about gassing the Hawaii events.
Yeah.
The Farmers out in San Diego, all of it wiped out and having like
20 events. 20 events is what they're talking about. Like 20 events. Every event is worth the same.
I know, dude.
And
but
then
what
majors.
About me and you, the guy that wants to watch golf?
I hate it.
I want to have a minor league tour, then the PGA Tour minors, and I'll watch other guys play at the Farmers.
Me too. It's Torrey Pines.
I want to watch people play at Torrey Pines. I want to watch people play at the Sony. If it's not Scotty Scheffler and those other spoiled guys, that's fine. But I want to watch other guys play golf for cash.
Yeah, I agree, man. I like the idea of, like, it's live. Like, they're just going to turn into live. Like, that's what I'm
wondering. It's like, have these guys gotten so spoiled where it's like, we only want to play this amount of events. Don't even think of sending us out to Hawaii. We hate going out there. It's like... And maybe we're just traditionalists. We're used to watching golf at that time, but I don't know. They might be kind of. I understand they were talking about the new commish being forward thinking, but he might be burning some bridges with a golf fan doing that.
I agree. Like if they go to 20 events, 4 majors, and I don't know, like does the Players or the Tour Championship? I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit more than that. It turns into 26 weeks of golf, but that's every 2 weeks. Like it's probably going to turn into a beginning of February through end of August tour, and that's kind of what it's going to be.
What's the reason for this?
Well, there's so much money. The players don't want to play. Like the top end guys make so much, they just don't want to go play in certain tournaments. And it's gotten complicated with the point system, the elevated events. They've adjusted the purses in some places. Again, LIV is complicating things.
Dude, it's so
I don't know.
heartbreaking watching guys at the last tournament of the year last weekend. Like that just it
Yeah.
used to be the top 125, now it's top 100. Guys were just like their livelihood, man.
Yeah,
it was like they were crying. It was sad, man.
Yeah. Well, like look at Adam Hadwin is on the outside looking in. First time in a long time in his career.
He in fact lost his card. Like he's not starting on the PGA Tour.
I will look that up to define it. I shouldn't say that without knowing
There's all
definitively,
kinds
but
of
I know
different
he was
statuses,
fighting for
though.
his life. Like I know he
Yes.
was. Doesn't mean he won't play on the tour or won't get some events.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's I don't know. I'm with you. I don't like where it's going. I like being able to basically like that starting in January they should just be playing golf for 9 months. Every single weekend there should be a tournament.
I know, and I want to know on Sunday. I'm watching somebody coming down the stretch.
Yeah, me too. Exactly. And it sucks. Kapalua's got real issues because there's some big fight over water. Like the course is dried out. It's a real problem.
The course got scorched.
Yeah,
man.
it's a real issue. So Kapalua wasn't going to host anyway this year, but it's such a great way to start the year. You guys shoot 35 under. It looks beautiful. It's primetime golf. They're playing at like 10 p.m.
No kidding.
Eastern
The
time.
next
I
week's
love
at
it.
Sony.
It's a great way to
pissed.
start it.
I'm
I'm
pissed.
with you. And then next thing you know, boom, they're into Torrey and Pebble, and they got the Waste Management. There's just great tournaments. Don't lose them.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it means for Open Championships. I don't know what it means.
What about those venues and sponsors and charities and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's I don't know. That
I don't
pisses
know.
off a lot of people. Man.
Yeah, it's going to be very fascinating to see where they take this. But I saw a stat actually quickly to wrap this up. We haven't talked golf in like 2 months, but now that the season's officially over, Scotty Scheffler ends his season with the best scoring average on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The only other guy to do that in the last 40 years was Tiger Woods in 2000. That's it. That's literally what he did this year. Best scoring round average every single round you can play on tour. Hasn't happened since Tiger.
Didn't he start the year injured as well?
Yes, he did. He didn't even play at Kapalua. He struggled because he had the hand surgery, basically.
Crazy stuff.
Anyway, all right. Jerry's coming up. Jerry's percentages. Best bet still to come as well. Leafs in action tonight. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
Back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
You're going to want to hear this.
Jerry's Percentages.
I don't love being commissioner as much as I used to. I actually love it even more.
That's the voice of a Hall of Famer.
Are you kidding? Have you been out drinking?
You're all pigeons. Filthy, filthy pigeons.
It's Jerry. Gerry.
All right, Jerry's Percentages, brought to you by the College of Sports Media, turning your passion into your profession for 18 years. Practical training with instruction from industry pros. Book a tour at collegeofsportsmedia.com, which happens to be the alma mater of Doogie and JP. So think about it.
What kind of grades did they get? Doogie, care to chime in?
Doogie, were you like an honor roll student, or were you just 51% and get me out of here?
I thought they loved me there.
Yeah?
Yeah, we didn't ask that.
We didn't ask you
What
if they
grades?
loved you. What kind of numbers are you putting up?
Pretty solid. Yeah. All around.
All around.
Well, what were they?
Come on, Doogie. What do you got?
Upwards of 80 to 90.
80 to 90% on average.
I would say
that
so.
would make you honorable.
I know what that is. That's code for 78.
At best.
Not true. Not true at all. I promise.
What was your average?
85.
Come on.
No
dude.
way, dude.
Now all of a sudden it's 85.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look. But
Please do. Go take a look. Well, it's a great school, and it produced two of the greats right there, right? Two of the greats. We love Doogie. We love JP. They are esteemed gentlemen. Speaking of not Jerry, but Jari, quickly before we get to Jerry, Kevin Weeks tweeting out that he is told that Tristan Jari is among the goalies drawing interest from the Edmonton Oilers, that the Oilers are kicking tires on Tristan Jari down in Pittsburgh, who has not played a lot this year, as you pointed out, but he has been a lot better. But, man, he has been so inconsistent throughout his career.
Yeah.
And he's got a pretty big ticket. I don't know. Like, Skinner would have to be going out, I would think. Like, I would guess if you're just ripping the Band-Aid off and you're like, Skinner's gone, if you're Pittsburgh, maybe it's worth a flyer, big body, you've been to 2 Cup finals, maybe you can,
Wouldn't you
find a way
rather
to
have
make it work.
Binnington of the two?
Yes.
Less contract, I think.
Yep.
I don't understand the Jari. Like, Jari was in the minors not long ago. I think he would be as big a risk as Skinner would be.
Yeah.
And I have no idea why you think you'd be improving it to a degree where you might settle things down, where everybody could say, oh, okay, now we can, like, they're not going to be going hashtag now we go if they get Tristan Jari.
No,
that is just something. And this is based on speculation on a report. Like,
doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it's change for the sake of change, which they might be in that position. You just have to have someone different here. And you're just not going to, who are you going to get? Like, Binnington could be available. It might cost you more than you're comfortable paying. Jari, like, Pittsburgh's still going south. They're the bottom's starting to drop out there. It's by the end of the year, I don't think they're a playoff team. I think they're going to unload pieces. And I think if you're Dubas and company, you're like, yeah, let's get off this ticket if we can. It'd be a smart play. But Edmonton just might be in a position where it's like change for the sake of change. Anyway, let's hear from Jerry. What do you have for us, Jerry? Go ahead.
The real Thanksgiving goes down tomorrow, and Jerry's got a lot to be thankful for. At the top of his list is the Canadian hockey scene being in absolute shambles. And the Jerry on top is this doozy. Captain America Quinn Hughes will not finish the season as a Canuck.
The Jerry on top. Not the cherry, but the Jerry on top.
The Jerry on top is an asinine line.
All right.
It's a crazy line.
That is
Quinn
a wild
Hughes does not finish the season with Van.
Mm-hmm.
I'm high on this because I think it should happen. Like, I'm 70% that he does not finish the year.
Whoa.
Why? Why do you want to keep him? We had this discussion, and I got yelled at from numerous different people.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you want to rip the Band-Aid off and just say, I don't know. Maybe there's a chance. We don't know this, but maybe Quinn Hughes wants to stay in Van. Who knows? Maybe he's told Jimmy and Patrick Alvin that he really loves it there and he wants to make it work. We don't know that. I highly doubt it. I think there is some truth. He wants to play with his brothers. But why rip the Band-Aid off? They're spinning in circles out there, man. I don't know where they're going, so why not make a move?
He has one more year left on his deal?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say 1%.
1%.
1%. I just think it's such a hard thing to do to your fan base, to your franchise. In these trades, you never get back what you.
Okay, keep
back.
him in the lineup and
no, but like I
have
guess
a
what I'm
losing
saying,
record
Jeff,
and be terrible.
is they'll convince themselves we'll try it again next year. We'll improve the team in the summer. We'll make some trades, some other guys, and we'll give it a go. And maybe we can convince them. You just don't. When does this ever happen?
Who really believes that though? Who
teams convince
does?
themselves of nonsense all the time, right?
I guess
is what they do.
They're not
right.
fooling me or you
right,
or
though.
Hayes.
You know what it is? It's the owner is the most important voice in all this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're absolutely right, Jonas. Like if they trade, let's say they traded Quinn Hughes tonight, that will just kill that market.
Kill you.
Kill them. Like that means you're done. It's over, which it is probably anyway.
Yep.
But then you can't fake it anymore. Tickets fall off, ratings fall off. No one's buying jerseys. No one cares. There's apathy or there's anger. I don't know which one's worse for business. And that's the sticking point. I think you can make – you got to get to the bottom of – let me answer this. I'll say 25%. I think there's a 1 in 4 chance they trade him because if it keeps going south, and he may get out in front of it and say, guys, this is in everyone's best interest.
I'm going to leave.
I'm leaving, so get the most you can. Ostensibly, you would think the most you could get would be before this trade deadline.
Yeah.
Then the prospective team gets him for 2 playoff runs. But the owner, like, you got to know where he stands. Because perfect world, he stays. He's such a great player, such a great ambassador for the team. He's still in his mid-20s. He's like, if you can keep him on a long-term deal, you do it. You figure out what your plan is beyond that. You got to get an answer from him. But it's the owner that makes it sticky because you can make a hockey case for it. You can make a player case for it. The owner element, though, if he goes, you're not trading him because that's just going to kill me at the box office, then there's nothing Rutherford and Alvin or anyone else can do. And my understanding is in the history of that ownership, they're not generally very keen at just accepting losing.
Well, what to even, like, Jeff, like, if you went to another team and said, like, we're willing to, you went to New Jersey, like, what do you get back that makes it worthwhile?
I don't know, but it is really going to be something that I would say, you know what, we lost Quinn Hughes, but we are set to move forward here. And I don't even know what the hell that would be from the New Jersey Devils. Like, is it Nemec to a starter on defense plus?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It would start. I mean,
Any
he's a good
picks?
young player, like a really good young player.
I know, but I literally want game-changing stuff for Quinn Hughes. Do you know what I mean?
I
look
totally
at what
agree with you.
look at what Ryan Riley's an older player now, and Pierre LeBrun reported yesterday Nashville's ask is a first-round pick and an A prospect.
Yeah, it's like,
which
all right.
is insane to ask for that. Well, look at what Toronto had to pay last year.
Yes, for Scott
So
Laughton.
what the hell is Vancouver getting for Quinn Hughes?
Yeah, but the
5
problem
first-round picks?
But that never happens. You're right. Like, superstars never get what they should in trade. Remember what Jack Eichel got traded for? Now, like, that was complicated, but they got back Alex Tuck, Peyton Krebs, and I think a first-round pick. It's like, all right, cool. Great. How's that working? You know, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those
not
trades
easy.
where a lot of the times you just look at it and say whoever got the best player won the trade.
Won the trade.
Well, and that's
And
generally
that's
what's going to happen.
yeah, that's
Same thing with
obviously
Quinn
Vegas.
Hughes. You know that. You know that wherever he goes, that's the best player. But, all right, Jerry, what else do you have here?
Speaking of Captain America, Austin Matthews will go on a heater and lead the Maple Leafs in goals by the end of the season.
Well, he's only 3 back at Tavares and 1 back of Willie right now.
Yes, I'm
So-
100% on this. This is what he does. He's the best goal scorer on the team, and he might miss some time, but he comes back and leads the team in goals. That's just what he does. 100%, not 100%. He will finish with the lead in goals on this hockey team, unless he's got an injury and pulls the pin on the season.
That's something that has to be considered. Can he get to the finish line and play enough games?
I'm 100% on this.
You can't be 100.
Yeah, I can.
Yes, he
But
is.
you just said, like, what if he gets, you just said, like, injuries.
Well, and Willie's more than capable of scoring 40-plus.
He's having one of those, like, passing,
Willie's a passer now?
generating more assists than...
Oh, Willie's a playmaker. Well, he
Is
has
that what
19
the,
assists.
Is that what the numerics say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Okay.
do.
All right. Well, and the actual numbers.
Yes.
Like he's got 19 assists. He leads the team in assists.
Yeah. I'm going to go 75. I think what Jeff said is right, except for the injury. I don't know what that's going to look
That's
like.
what scares me.
I guess the question is who else would it be? You mentioned Nylander.
Willie or Tavares?
Yeah, like I guess, I mean, Tavares is on such a crazy pace. At some point, you feel like that's going to slow down.
I think John's probably going to get to 33, 34, 35 goals.
That's what it feels like.
Which is still a great season.
And Matthews, I think, is on pace. I don't know. I haven't looked recently, but I think
his per game would be 41, 42 goals a year. Like, he's got to get kicking here to get up over 40 again, which he did not score last year.
Would you guys take over or under 40?
Right now?
Right now. I might take high 30s.
Yeah, I'd probably bet the under until he's in a position he's got to prove himself again.
Yeah,
like
he's
really
gotta,
does.
If he's going to do anything different, he's got to have one of those stretches where it's like 3 hat tricks in 6 games, where it doesn't look like that's in the cards this year.
It hasn't happened. Like, he has one multi-goal game.
Yeah. The last 2 years, that's the thing. He's in a position where he's got to prove he can get back into the chatter of best players in the game and best goal scorer in the game. So I'll say 60%. Like, I'm in the majority that he can. If he's healthy, I think he will. Mm-hmm. But I'm not as convinced, and I think Willie's still going to score. John will continue to score. All right, Jerry, what else do you have?
All 3 of the Packers, Lions, and Bears will make it to the playoffs.
This is a big one in the NFC North, man. They're all right there right now. You got the Packers and Lions tomorrow, and the Bears at Philly on Friday. Huge swing weekend for the NFC North.
All 3 make it to the playoffs?
And as of now, the Lions are technically on the outside looking in, but they're all right there.
I'm going to say 45% because I think one of them could just, I don't know, one of them could take a deuce and
it feels like the Bears would be that team. Like,
the Bears could bear.
Yes, they could bear. Like, one of the Lions or Packers are going to lose tomorrow. You know what? Like, one of them is going to be 7-5 or 7-4-1. I think the bigger game this weekend is clearly the Bears. They have to make a statement. You're on national TV. It's a standalone game against the Super Bowl champs. Philly haven't been playing great. Like, the Bears' schedule has been horrendous. They've been playing New Orleans and Washington and the Giants and J.J. McCarthy. It's just they've had nothing.
J.J. McCarthy, I'm worried about that guy, man.
He stinks, dude. Like, you can't sugarcoat it. He has been horrendous for Minnesota.
He just looks like he's not big enough, strong enough, good enough. I don't know. That's a tough one.
No, it's really ugly. But here, let me quickly throw out the Bears' remaining schedule. At Philly on Friday, at Green Bay, home to Cleveland, home to Green Bay, at San Francisco, home to Detroit. So, like,
they're getting it.
That's the thing. I don't know if 10 wins gets you in. They need 2 more to get to 10. Like, I think they can beat Cleveland. I think they can get, one of those other games to get to 10. Can they get to 11?
But let me ask you guys this. Who are the other teams getting in?
Well, the Niners have been good.
No.
Seattle, like, in terms of who you're competing with.
Yeah.
The Niners are technically in. Can they keep it up with their injuries and the way Brock Purdy's been playing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think Seattle's going to drop off.
No, I don't think so.
The Rams obviously aren't.
But, like, some of the teams that are out of it right now is, like, there's no one you're worried about.
I don't see Dallas.
Carolina.
I don't see Carolina's going to fall off. Like, there's 8 teams fighting for the 7 spots. So from there, I'm going to say, I don't know, 51%. 51% all 3 make it.
I'm 40.
It's either 3 teams from the NFC West or 3 from the North. So who do you trust more?
I think I'm at 30.
You trust the Niners, Rams, Seahawks 3-pack over the 3-pack in the NFC North? That's based on history reasonable. Like, the Bears are the one team out of those 6 that you look at and you're like, they're the Bears. Like, what are you doing here?
They felt kind of fraudulent.
Yes, absolutely. Their offense has been a lot better recently, to their credit, and defense for that matter. But I don't know. I'm not loving their chances. But someone's got to make that pick on Friday. Right, I think, is that Luke and Noodles? Like, Noodles is now running a football operation.
Is Jeff now like Kevin Durant joining the Warriors?
An interesting comparison.
But is Jeff Kevin Durant
a
fix?
A 2-time MVP?
Yes.
I don't know.
If you can't beat him, you join him.
Yes.
It is a pretty wild scenario where this guy just somehow ended up on our team. Now, it was a waiver claim. You were on waivers, and we claimed you. Al's brother and I had a long meeting last night, and we said, we believe there's a lot of value in this guy. We can build him back up.
Hey, look, it's either that or you give me my super team, and we start picking games too. Me, Doogie, and JP, and Joe from the Bridge. We can start picking games, and you got to give us something to.
You want a 3-pack? We could do a 3-pack. We could get crazy the rest of the way.
I'll do a super team, and we'll do 3 teams, man. I don't care. Because me and Doogie and JP, we're something.
Yeah, you guys are something, all right. You guys are something.
Yeah.
Okay.
79 average at broadcasting school. Think about that. JP, what was your average?
I got to be honest, guys. I don't remember mine. I'm 10-year graduate.
Dude, that means it's 60 plus.
Yeah, that means it's 51% across the board.
Means he never even showed up, and he doesn't even know.
I know that vibe. I know that vibe. I lived that life, JP.
Yeah.
It's a dark place, man. It's a dark place.
That's where you walk out of the school and you flip a coin whether you're getting a gig or not.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You leave an exam, you start asking people, what was your answer on that? And you just are flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You
flip it up in the air, and it's either TSN or my parents' basement.
And we are so happy it came up TSN.
Yes.
We love what JP is bringing to the table. All right, well, picks are going to be made. HBO, Hayes, Bro, and O up against Noodles' son. Noodles' son.
Either that or you give me my super team with at least 6 wins.
Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you a weekend where you got to prove yourself to us because Al's brother and I are not seeing the board exactly the same. You're going to make the pick for us, and this is going to be on you what happens tomorrow. So you're coming back, and you're going to make the pick, Packers-Lions, because you've heard the arguments from both sides, all right? You're joining us, and you're going to make that pick, and we'll tell you what Luke and Noodles evidently are picking in the Chiefs-Cowboys game. We'll do that next. right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Pick them in the Leaf game tonight. Must win. End of November, must win. Got to have it tonight. You got Matthews back. You got Nick Waugh back. You got Matthew Nyes back. Joseph Wall's in net. He's had a few days off. He's been playing very well. You got to have it. Columbus is not a great team. I know they hate that rink. I'm on the Leafs to win and Matthews anytime goal scorer tonight. The captain got to bring some mojo tonight. Got to have it. That parlay paying plus 215. Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And same-game parlay is now available for every NHL game. Please play responsibly, 19+, physically located in Ontario. All right, here's a big moment. This is a big, big moment because the O-Dog claimed off waivers by Hayes and Bro. We've been rolling, Jonas. I
kind of picture him like Tom Hanks in Castaway when he sees the boat, and you guys are the boat. And you've brought him onto the ship.
Yeah, and House Brothers Wilson.
You're right. House Brothers Wilson. I have another movie analogy that I think might work. Okay. This guy is basically Billy Zane in Titanic. Because the Titanic is sinking, and he's pushing women and children out of the way to get on a lifeboat, and he's coming over to us.
Can you ever see me doing that in real life, you bastard?
No comment. Billy Zane. Billy
I
Zane.
would be kicking people in the ass so hard.
Dude, it's life or death on the Titanic.
What happened to him in that? I can't remember. Did he die?
Well, Billy got up. He survived.
He's
but
golden.
remember, I guess he, stock market crashed, Great Depression. I don't think Billy had a good time at that
stinky
point.
old Jack couldn't find enough room on that piece of wood to hang out.
One of the most gutless characters of all time is Rose.
Yeah. You can't give him a sliver to hang on to.
I know.
You're going to watch him go down?
It's so selfish.
Yeah.
I'm quite comfortable up here, Jack.
Yeah.
You just keep swimming in the freezing ocean. Oh, you're falling? Oh, that's a shame.
To death.
Not
death? Just falling to death.
I'm going to keep this piece of jewelry that's worth millions of dollars and go and have a great day and a great life. Anyway, here we go. Now, let me say this. Okay, Noodles is decided, not Luke, because Luke's basically Noodles' intern right now. Noodles wants the Chiefs in their game. Chiefs minus 3.5 against the Cowboys. Noodles' son is on that game.
Yeah.
We are on Lions-Packers. Lions minus 2.5. Who are we taking? This is a big moment for you.
Rawr, the Lions.
We're taking the Lions. All right, lock it in. Danny Campbell at home.
Danny Campbell at home. I smell a blowout. I know that you think Love is great in Detroit.
He is. Yeah, that defense is pretty good in Green Bay. They beat them up week 1 earlier this year at Lambeau.
You're gonna watch and you're gonna text me and say you just earned your keep.
Great to have you on the
Hayes
team.
and Bro and O.
HBO. They're calling us HBO.
I like it.
HBO Plus. All right, Billy Zane, great seeing you. Or Tom Hanks. Jonas, great seeing you.
Such a jerk comparison. Bill Zane.
Billy Zane. All right, thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at...
Are we flying, Hazy B? 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.